Welcome to Channel AMEC, your insight to the Australian visa system. Good day everyone, my name is Carl, your migration agent here to actually provide you the insight to the Australian visa information. Now today's video, I would like to take this opportunity to share with all of you, the viewers and friends, about the new came out 491 Skilled Regional Visa. So the short term that the government had given the name is the SRV, so Skilled Regional Visa. So that SRV actually includes subclasses 491 and 494, which has properly and officially announced and actually operational now since 16th of November, which was last Saturday. Anyhow, today we've got more information that captures most of the newly legislative law and rules and policies. So today I'll take this opportunity to share with you. Now, bear in mind, a lot of states have not announced what sort of policies they would like to play for 491 and 494 yet, but it's coming up. For instance, Northern Territory, they have not announced what sort of applicants or candidates they prefer, and so is Queensland. And it seems like Western Australia and South Australia has not changed much of their preferences as well. So I think the states are competing each other, and they are weighing out how this visa will actually benefit to be beneficial to the state or territory. So anyway, let's jump into the immigration website and have a look at it. Now, so as you can see, this is the skill migration program where we are focusing on, as what you can read down here, right down here. Okay, down here. Okay, the November, which is very current. So I'm not too sure why they have this image viewer, but anyhow, they should have this category or something like that. Anyway, so the new migrate, I'll go on one by one, so and read it with you guys, so you know more in depth, and I'll explain more once we go through it. So the new migration program planning, so it was planned back in I don't know, was early or mid 2019, where it was only given 23,000 places. So now they increased it to 25,000 places for 2019 and 2020 year. So that actually provides 2,000 more placements for regional skill SRV, skilled regional visas, so which is very good. And now, so where does it cover? Now again, it covers subclass 494 and 491. So as you can see, there's 494, 491. It's all in here, and they also amended Schedule 6D, where we'll go in detail. So the new regional postcodes are as follows. So apart from Sydney, Melbourne, and Brisbane, okay, Perth, Adelaide, Gold Coast, Perth and Gold Coast has basically been officially named the regional areas, as they were previously not. So it's a good news for the institution universities in Gold Coast and Perth. Apparently there's a lot of university in Perth, so Western Australia, and there are numbers of university in Gold Coast as well. So Perth, Adelaide, Gold Coast, Sunshine Coast, Canberra, Newcastle, Lake Macquarie, Wollongong, Illawarra, Geelong, and Hobart. So again, this is the major regional centers. So people ask me that how about Darwin? Of course, Darwin is regional as well, but they are not the major regional centers. So apart from Brisbane, Sydney, and Melbourne, basically everywhere else is regional nowadays. So how would this affect your plan to migrate to Australia? Will be pick the right university, obviously the right interest of yours, enroll as an international student. So the goal of the federal government of Australia is that they will attract more international students to regional Australia to study, and then they settle there because they have this 491 and 494 options, and they allow them to settle there, but cannot move into the major city, but they are allowed to move between the regional places, regional areas. So that's a very interesting part, but I'll go through that later on. Okay, 3 years later, after you hold 491 and 494, you'll be eligible to transfer into subclass 191, which is a permanent residency visa. Now, the criteria at this time that we have received the information is this. Now, in order to meet the criteria to get to 191 is that you hold 491 visa, and then you have been staying in regional. There's no criteria to restrict you into a certain regional area. You can move between different regional areas. And then number two is that you have been working for an annual wage of $53,900 for consecutive 3 years. And after that, you will be able and eligible to transfer into 191 visa, so which is very good. So you pick the state. So what it meant is that you pick a state that's more favorable for your occupation, study there, gain 491, and then obviously then you have a choice to stay in that state, or you wanted to move to other different regional places. But once you relocate yourself, remember you will require to allow the immigration know as soon as possible. So the only restrictions are not moving into the major cities: Sydney, Brisbane, Melbourne. Okay, so that's the game plan. Okay, now let me just see if I can move this around. Okay, that's better. Okay. Now, the fees, we're not going to talk about too much about fees, so you have to pay it anyway once you get invited. So the secondary visa holders can also be coming in after the primary applicant gain 491 visas. Now, another good thing about this is the secondary visa holders can then become the primary visa holders while submitting to and apply for 191 PR, meaning that a partner of yours became your subsequent visa applicant. And just to give you for example, you may not be able to find a job that qualifying to gain 53,900 annual wage, but your partner can. So then by the end of 3 years, he or she will become the primary visa applicant for 191 visa, and you become the secondary partners. So you can swap roles in other way. Now, another good thing is that the federal government will provide Medicare. So once you have 491 and 494 visas, you will be eligible to access to Medicare, which is very good, a very incentive for migrants or regional settlement as well. But bear in mind, Medicare does only covers part of the medical stuff, but I always support that everyone should get a private health insurance as well, because it covers more work and things like that. Anyway, now bridging visa has been amended, so once we lodge 491 and 494 visa, you will automatically gain the work right. So you don't have to apply for work permit again, if you know what I'm talking about. And then let me have a look. The new, oops, have I moved it around? Okay, now the international school fees. Now, interesting. I believe Western Australia and Queensland will allow 491 and 494 visa holder to access incentive for their dependent child under 18 to be enrolled as the locals. I saw as I'm not too sure about Northern Territory and South Australia. I know Victoria and New South Wales does not have too much of an incentive in comparison to other states. But look, this as it said, it will be up to each state. So it really it's up to the state. So when you are looking forward, we should dig deep into those states incentive where they provided. Email account obviously being updated, so you can access with skill migration where you have that column there, obviously. Now, I want to take you down to the partner points where the new schedule 60 points. So basically, the old scheme where 489 visa only provide additional 10 points. Now the 491 will provide 15 points now, so 5 points more compared to the old 489 visa, meaning that the minimum requirement for applicant will then drop from 55 to 50 points, meaning that if you have been studying in regional Australia, you will be easily access to that 50 points. And if you're good enough get nominated and invited, you easily gain that 491 visa. So and that's, we're not even talking about getting an IELTS of 7 or 8. You, as long as you study 2 years in Australia, and then obviously pass a skill assessment, depends on what occupation that you are in, you will be able to get that points easily. Now, with your partners, now there are a couple of ways to go. So if your partner is deemed to be skilled, meaning that your partner had passed the skill assessment in IELTS at the competent level, you get that 10 points. And then dropping down, if your partner pass only the competent English level, you get 5 points. Now, if your partner does not have any skill assessment or anything else, you get 0 points. So that you rather become independent without a partner, you get that 10 points there. Now, there's even additional points where your partner is an Australian citizen or Australian permanent resident. It's a very interesting part. I think they are encouraging, I think it's down here, partner points. So down here, if you can see that down here, I just highlight that. I think they are trying to encourage people who are who are looking forward to lodge a partner visa. Currently, the wait time is about 3 to 4 years till you get permanent residency. So if you're using this new point system where you go through possibly 189 or 190, you'll be able to gain, or even 491, you'll be able to gain permanent residency quicker than lodging a partner visa. You see what I mean? So I think they are trying to encourage a different way rather than having a lot of people jam-packed lodging a partner visa. So that's another way to go. Now, there's another thing that they talked about here, 10 points for a STEM qualification. So that's STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So under the law, you only get this 10 points if you study at the master level by research only, by research and above, that meaning PhD. So if you study science or IT by coursework, sorry, you won't get that 10 points. It has to be a research or above, okay? Now, professional year, obviously that still stays the same, and I always encourage the viewers to friends to get CCL as well, so credential community language points as well, because now they drop the rates. It's much easier to get that CCL. Now the 494, which is it replaces the original 187 RSMS. So apart from finding a regional employer, you are required to gain skill assessment and demonstrate that post qualification you have at least 3 years of full-time work experience. So then you'll be able to do that. Now, obviously, regional certifying body is opened. Labor market testing, that's all still there. Now, I wanted to take you down to, I think that's all labor agreement, that's all employment related visas. So apart from all that, I think that's all I would like everybody to be notified for all these new changes. So the new the advantage of the new changes is obviously if you picked regional studies, best to be a bachelor or above, because you gain additional 1 year of 485 temporary graduate visa. then you have more time to actually work and live in and settle in the area. Obviously, working is gaining you additional points and sometimes allows you to gain skill system as well, so that you'll be able to access to 491 visa very easy. And once you get that 491 visa, you'll be able to relocate yourself. For just give you an instance, you may pick Darwin CDU as your additional university to study, and once you get 491 nominated and granted by the Northern Territories, you may pick to relocate yourself to Queensland, for example, Sunshine Coast or Gold Coast, and continue to live and stay there and work, provided you gain that annual wage of $53,900 per year, and 3 years later you'll be able to lodge for 191 visa. So I think this is very lucrative and very good way that government has actually encouraged that the migrant to actually move away from the major cities, and it's actually very good. I don't think there's too much of a hurdle there, but again, the 191 visa criteria has not officially been out yet, so once we get that, we will get that update to you ASAP. Anyway, if you do have any comments or questions, feel free to leave your comment down here, and I always encourage people to actually subscribe to our channel, so once we have all the news and updates, you will get it straight away and be able to plan ahead for your migration pathway. Thank you for viewing. I see you for the next video.